How can you create a unique custom leather stamp on your own? In this video, you will learn the full process of making an embossing stamp at home using 3D printing. We will start by generating an image with AI, then optimize the vector file, and turn it into a 3D model. You will see the stamp in action, the embossing process, and the creation of a finished leather piece with a custom design. All software and services used in this video are free. Let's begin by generating an image using Recraft.ai. It has a free version that is suitable for non-commercial use. An additional advantage of this AI is its ability to create vector images directly. We write a simple prompt and choose a suitable model for vector generation. Sometimes you need to run several generations to achieve the perfect result. In your favorite version, you need to reduce the number of colors via the Colors panel. Set the number of colors parameter to 2 to get a clean black and white image. Export the resulting image in SVG format. To create the 3D model, we will use Tinkercad.com. Create a new 3D Designs project and import our SVG file. Configure the import settings. We get a 3D model and can immediately see that it didn't turn out very well. As you can see, you can't just take an AI vector and instantly turn it into a high-quality stamp. The vector file must first be cleaned of extra junk contours. Any vector editor will work for this, but I'll choose the free Inkscape. Open our SVG file in Inkscape for a detailed inspection. We can see that besides the necessary black contours, there are ghost white outlines and tiny details. All these unnecessary elements must be carefully removed by hand. Some elements of the design must have hollow centers. To do this, select the outer and inner contours while holding the Shift key. In the Path menu, select the Difference function or press Ctrl-. During the cleaning process, I color the finished parts red. This helps me ensure that every contour is closed and free of errors. This is a rather meticulous and monotonous process that requires focus. If you know a way to speed up or automate this cleaning, please let me know in the comments. It took me about 10 minutes to fully optimize the image for 3D modeling. Save the final clean version in SVG format. Go back to Tinkercad.com. Create a new project by clicking the +Create button. Import our fixed SVG file again. In the Import settings, select Center on Art. In the Dimensions field, enter the required stamp size in millimeters. Now we have an excellent three-dimensional model. The working part of the stamp is ready, but it cannot be printed as is. Parts of the design are currently floating in the air, so we need a solid base. To do this, take the box element from the Basic Shapes panel and drag it onto the work plane. Resize the base to fit our design. You can drag the markers on the cube itself or move the sliders in the Settings panel. For maximum precision, I enter the numerical values for length, width, and height manually. Export the finished model as an .stl file. Open the STL file in the Slicer software for your 3D printer. Configure the print settings according to your specific equipment. I decided to slightly increase the infill density so the stamp can withstand the pressure of the press. I also increased the number of shell layers to 4. A 3D printed surface always has a characteristic layered texture. To ensure a clean impression on the leather, the surface of the stamp must be sanded. This is exactly why we needed the extra thickness in the shell. We print the stamp. In my case, I'm using ABS filament. Take the finished part out of the printer and inspect the surface for irregularities. I don't want these print lines to transfer onto the leather, so I'll begin sanding. I use medium grit sandpaper. Mine is number 478. I sand on a flat surface, moving the piece in different directions. This is important to ensure the working surface of the stamp remains perfectly flat. Periodically brush off the plastic dust and check the result. If the surface is not yet smooth enough, continue sanding. After 3 minutes of intensive work, I achieved an acceptable result. The surface became smooth, except for a couple of tiny voids that are not critical. I noticed that very thin corners ended up with slight rounded thickenings. Apparently, this was the limit of my printer's nozzle detail. Now it's time to test our stamp in action. Take some high-quality vegetable tanned leather and cut a workpiece. The leather needs to be moistened, so I submerge it in water for a short time. Sometimes just dampening the surface with a sponge is enough, depending on the leather. Take the pieces out of the water and remove all excess moisture from the surface. I will be using a manual press for the embossing. If you don't have a press, you can sandwich the leather and stamp between two boards using a C-clamp. Carefully adjust the pressure to get a sharp and deep impression. Always keep in mind that this is plastic, and excessive pressure can damage it. This is the impression we got. Leave the leather to dry completely in natural conditions. After drying, we evaluate the quality. The impression is even and deep enough. I want to give the image more contrast and expression. Using a fine brush and leather paint, I color the design inside the relief. If you are interested in videos like this about leather working, please subscribe to my channel. After the paint dries, I coat the piece with Resolene protective finish. Again, give the leather time to dry completely. I apply antique paste to highlight the texture and immediately wipe off the excess with a cloth. Finally, I coat the leather with a finish for shine and protection. Compare the two versions, with artistic processing and without it. I decided to use this design to decorate a metal flask. I round the corners of my leather piece with a corner punch. I thoroughly sand the edges of the leather to make them smooth. I use a stitching groover to cut a channel for the future hand stitch. I bevel the edge of the leather with an edge beveler and burnish the edge with a slicker. Now we glue the embossed piece onto the main piece of leather. Apply a thin layer of glue to both surfaces being bonded. Carefully join the parts and press them firmly for a secure bond. Using a stitching punch, I create the holes for the thread. I sew the pieces together using a classic, strong saddle stitch. I then tap the finished stitch with a hammer to level the threads. Now I sew the two sides of the future flask jacket edge to edge. At this stage, I don't tighten the threads all the way to the end yet. I wipe the metal surface of the flask with a degreaser. I apply glue to the concave part of the flask and to the inner side of the leather. Very carefully, I slide the leather sleeve onto the body of the flask. Gradually tighten the seam. Going over it 2 or 3 times. We need to ensure the edges of the leather meet as tightly as possible. I tie a strong knot and carefully melt the ends of the thread with a lighter. Press the leather firmly against the concave part of the flask where the glue was applied. Secure the leather with clamps and leave it until the glue fully sets. Can 3D printed stamps be used? My answer is definitely yes. It is an excellent working method. Can such a plastic tool fully replace a brass stamp? For certain tasks, yes, especially if you need a one-off item or a small batch. If you need to mass produce items constantly, it's better to order a durable metal stamp. 3D printing detail has its limits, though it depends on your printer. But overall, 3D printing stamps is a very fast and budget-friendly option for a leather crafter. Please share your own experience in the comments below this video. Thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.